All right, hello, my wonderful students. This is part 2 of Foldable 2, and we're going to find the inverse. So we're going to find the inverse, so the f negative 1 of x, the f inverse of 7x squared minus 9. So we're going to substitute our f of x for y. We get 7x squared minus 9. And go ahead and switch the variables. Switch the variables. So I go to that, we get x is equal to 7y squared minus 9. And then we're going to solve for y to find the inverse. Inverse. Alright, easy enough, right? So go ahead and solve here. So first thing we're going to do is plus 9 to both sides. Plus 9. We get x plus 9 is equal to 7y squared. Get rid of this pesky 7 by dividing it because it's multiplying. And we have our x plus 9 over 7 is equal to our y squared because the 7's reduced to 1. So in order to get rid of our square root now, we got to our square, we got to square root both sides. But when we do this, since we're adding the square root, or since we're doing the process of the square root, we're actually going to have, so this reduces to just equal y, but this is going to be plus or minus the square root of x plus 9 over 7, which already there's a problem because we're not supposed to have a plus or minus here. So therefore, I'm going to write that in green. Therefore, the inverse, the light just shut off. Where is it at? Is supposed to be 1 is equal to plus or minus square root of x plus 9 over 7. But like we said, since we have two answers, it doesn't follow the function rules, which is what for every input you have to have one output. This, for one input, you're going to have two different outputs. Like for example, if I were to make this top part 7, so if let's just say I put x is equal to negative 2. Negative 2 plus 9 would give me 7. So 7 over 7 would be 1. And the square root of, well, I'll just do the work right here. So if we do square root of negative 2, substitute plus 9 over 7, we get 7 over 7. Square root, plus or minus still, plus or minus. But this is equal to 1, so plus or minus 1 would be our answer. And this has two outputs for one input. So let's change colors so you guys know the difference. So this one here would be a, excuse me, a function is a relation in which each domain can only have one range. And this does not follow it, because when x is negative 2, y is equal to plus or minus 1. So this does not work because it has two domains, or two ranges for one domain. So thus, comma, y equals plus or minus the square root of x plus 9 over 7 is not a function. Well, let's just say it's not an inverse. It's not a function either, but it cannot be an inverse because that's what we're looking for, right? It's also not a function, but it's also not an inverse.